Hello. In this milestone, we are building our production infrastructure and deployment pipeline using the following components. Our app is a Python Flask application, which is a simple bucket list application. You can see the layout over here when it's running and deployed. Our continuation integration server is Jenkins. We are configuring the production environment automatically using Ansible. So I'll just run the command to configure it because it's going to take some time. So as you can see, it's started to install stuff on node 0 and node 1, which are the two instances on which we'll be deploying our application. Then we are building and testing. After the build and testing analysis stage is done, we are deploying the code onto Amazon EC2 instances using the Jenkins plugin code deploy. We are using the global Redis store for implementing the feature flags functionality. We have created a Node.js application which monitors the deployed application using the following two metrics, which are CPU and memory usage. So whenever the threshold value is exceeded for these metrics, an email is sent to a list of predetermined email recipients. And finally, for the canary release, we have the following infrastructure in place. A proxy server is running on a machine which routes about 70% of the traffic to the stable version, which is the deployment environment, and 30% to the canary version, the staged version of the software. So whenever an alert is raised, we'll be stopping the routing traffic to that version. So as you can see over here, we are installing a lot of things over here onto this machine. And let me show you the layout for the Jenkins build. So we have two jobs, or we have the following jobs over here, the Python M1 build, which is going to be running. So we have specified all the AWS configuration parameters over here. So as you can see, the application name, the deployment group, configuration, etc. is set up over here. And we are using the Kobuchura and violations plugins to generate coverage and static analysis reports. So a sample such coverage will be seen over here, and the violations can be seen like this. Meanwhile, we're just waiting for this thing to complete. So as you can see, the configuration has been completed. Now for running the for building stage, we are setting up a webhook which will automatically trigger a build job for the Jenkins build. So I'll just show you an example for that. So I'm in this folder, and I'm just going to be removing 151. And I'll just be doing this, and I'll be committing it to the GitHub repo, and I'll be pushing it. So as soon as the commit has succeeded, the build job is working right now. And for this build job, like I said, the build stage has completed successfully, and the testing and analysis stage is being done. So we are using Nose unit testing framework for doing unit tests, for running the unit tests on this code, and it generates files in a dot coverage format, which is recognized by the Corbatura Jenkins plugin to display the thing in a graphical format. We're using pylint package to do static code analysis, which will be interpreted by the violations plugin for showing the report in a graphical format. And here you can see the files are zipped, and these, so what code deploy does is it zips the entire code into an S3 bucket, and from there it loads it onto the instances on which the deployed application has to work. So from here you can see, and it generates a new build number for the deployed app. As you can see, it's working right now, and the build has completed successfully. And the report for this can be seen over here, and you can see the violations over here for this build. And if I go to these websites, yeah, I can see the app over here. So after deployment, let me show you the feature flags in action. So I'm over here and I go to Redis CLI, and I first see what's the flag value has been set. So I'll be using the toggle functionality for it. So when I set flag as 0, and if I go over here, so yeah, you can see the functionality has changed. If I set flag to 1, this is the so our toggling is we are just changing the font sizes for these. Okay, the next step in our milestone is the ability to monitor deployed applications. So let me show you that in action. So we have developed the monitoring app, which we'll run right now. So as soon as we run the monitoring application, you can see that the memory is 98, and you can see that an alert has been sent to an email. So here is the alert that I've received for it. Okay, I'll just stop the alert for the time being. And for the last stage, that is the canary release, I'll be running the proxy server on a machine. Okay. So So 70% of the traffic will be routed onto the stable version, and 30% will be routed onto the canary release. So here I am. Execute. So the proxy server is now listening on port 2080, and I'll just go onto that website and see. I'll let you know. So here you can see that it has been redirected to the main server. And if I just keep so in the middle it had been redirected to the canary version. So this is our proxy server, and once an alert has been raised, all traffic to the canary is stopped. To show that in action, I'll just run a memory intensive command. I'll just see what is the memory being used. So right now it's about 84% that is being used. So you can see So here you can see an alert had been raised, and when I now try to redirect, I will always be redirected to the main server after that. And just to check there is, so I got a new service alert for that. So we are getting multiple messages because the interval that we've set for the demonstration purpose is 2 seconds. Thank you.